This modern obsession with optimization is making me lose my things. Literally, the easiest example I can give you is this. Working out, right? Now, you may not be working out, so you are going to click off the video like right now. I know you're trying to do it. Hold on a bit. Just listen. Uh, let's just say there are tons of exercises, and all of them, if done consistently, if trained hard, will make you grow, right? However, there is the community of so-called science-based lifters who are just LARPing, who take studies way too seriously. You see, most studies end up giving results that don't mean much. Most studies end up being like, okay, let's compare this with this and see what happens. And the end result is very similar, meaning whatever exercise you end up picking is gonna work just fine. But these people can't read. So what do? They take those small differences in the numbers, which by the way, there's always gonna be small differences, but a lot of that is margin of error and up to nuance that it doesn't matter, but they take it seriously. So then they just start bullshitting and boasting how this is exercise is actually superior to the one you are doing, which means you are losing it constantly and you should switch now. No. The guy who's going to come in, do the same exercise for 5 years is gonna grow much bigger than the guy who keeps changing it up every study. It's just facts. Alright? Now, something else, right? Not in the gym. Look, I get that certain mattresses now can help you fall asleep and get more quality sleep. That's fine. I think a lot of people don't sleep as well as they could be, so this kind of optimization can help people, but when they do all at once, like spend tons of money on this, on water filters that they do not need because of fear mongering. There's people who fear foods because, oh, this is not nutrient dense, I can't eat it, I have to eat. Look, eat whatever you want. At the end of the day, as long as you're eating, proper foods for the most part, the other part doesn't fucking matter. If you want to optimize health, the way you will optimize it actually is by eating the right stuff most of the time and just basically eating what you enjoy. If you are eating something that is like, oh my gosh, this is so nutrient dense, this is so healthy, but you don't like it, you're just not gonna stick to it and it doesn't make sense for you to eat it. Oh, but it's optimal, so I should. No! It's optimal if you end up sticking to it and if you like it. If it works with your life. If it doesn't work, then it's not fucking optimal. Why does everything in your life has to be perfectly optimized? It does not. There are millions of people who you see have great physiques. So you think that they live perfect lives, but they don't. They probably stress constantly and they sleep like 7 hours a day instead of 9 that you think they're sleeping. There's always something off and there's always going to be something off. So you don't need to worry about everything. You need to let go of that shit. Look, This might be a hot take, but even talking about money, if you're trying to save up, if you're struggling, right? If you just conserve every penny like an individual from Israel, what's gonna happen? You're gonna become stingy and you're gonna be stressed about every penny. But if you sometimes let yourself have something, you go out with your friends for a good time and spend some money there, it's not gonna be a big deal. If you believe in yourself enough to survive and to make more money later, then you're good. But if you're constantly stingy about everything, of course you're gonna fail, you're gonna lose that money. You don't have to believe me in this sense, but this is just how it is. Sure, a lot of people may still benefit from conserving everything. Maybe it works for them. See, but that's the thing. This works for me. It may not work for someone else. So if people are saying, "Well, you have to save everything up," well, what if it doesn't really work with you like that? Now, by saving every penny, are you gonna save every penny? Yeah. But at what cost? You know, just because you don't spend money, that doesn't mean that it doesn't cost you anything. People, by focusing too much on optimization, they lose more than they gain and they don't realize it. Stop and live your fucking life. Yes, improve, look for improvements, and stick to them, even if it requires a bit of discipline. But don't pretend like you can be perfect. Alright, get out of here. Go, bro, go. The video is over.